Hey guys, it's Alex the Real Mr. Robinson here, and as you can see, I'm not in my usual setting because I am with...
Hi, I'm AdorkableRachel. How you doing?
Yeah, AdorkableRachel is with me, and we are obviously talking about Avengers Infinity War, if you couldn't tell by the title of the video and the
fact that we're wearing these shirts.
Exactly. So we actually did a spoiler-free review. No, spoiler-free. We did a spoiler-filled review on her channel. It went up a while ago. You can check that out right in the link below. The main focus of this video, though, will still be talking about spoilers, but it's going to also involve you guys out there in the world of Stardust, with which both Rachel and I are a big part of. Mm-hmm. Now, you might be asking yourself, because I always get new subscribers, what is Stardust? Stardust is the app, not just an app. It is the app where you can go do quick 30-second reactions to a movie, TV show, trailer, theme park ride, if they have it in their archives. Mm-hmm. So I found the original Star Tours and the new one on there. And basically it lets you give a reaction on whatever you're reviewing quick, you're straight to the point, and you can upload it at the snap of a finger. And hopefully you don't wipe out half the population by doing that.
Right.
So, I mean, it's been a great tool for me because I don't have the time to review everything out there, and it's a great tool for you as well.
Yeah.
We're always busy with anything else that's going on in our lives, so there's only so much time we can dedicate to YouTube, but it's a great way for us to get our thoughts out on a TV show, like individual episodes or a trailer.
Or if we just happen to just watch something but don't have the time to do a full review of it on our channel, we can do that. Also, I should note that one other thing it lets you do is you can react to trailers. Like if a new trailer comes out, then we can immediately put our thoughts out there, because on my channel I also do trailer reactions, like live reactions sometimes. Yeah. But I can't do it to all of them, so sometimes if I watch a trailer, I'll just watch it and then I will react to it on Stardust, and then everyone at least knows what I thought of it.
Exactly. And also, if you want to go out there and be like us, get into the YouTube community, and just keep making videos on what you think of a movie and whatnot, Stardust is great practice because, again, it lets you have your opinions very condensed and within a quick amount of time. Yeah. And we actually met through the Stardust app.
We did, actually. Rampage screening!
Exactly. We went and saw a early screening of Rampage. I know that movie's been out for a while, but thanks again, Stardust and Real D, for inviting us.
Yes!
It was a ton of fun. And yeah, we decided to collaborate because we're both on YouTube and we're both Marvel Cinematic Universe fans, so why not talk Infinity War?
Let's do it. And actually, you know what, I'm really glad I'm doing this because I've been offered to do this exact thing, which is get people's reactions and then talk about them, but I haven't really found the time to do even that, so now we're finally getting an opportunity where I can do that and we're going to do it together. Absolutely,
but before we get into the Stardust reactions, I wanted to get your brief opinion on the movie. Just do a quick, I guess we'll do a live Stardust reaction. Just voice your brief thoughts on the movie.
All I could say was that I was spent and it was awesome, but now I had a little more time to think about it. I love this movie so much. It's not my favorite Avengers film, I don't think. I'll always have a place in my heart for the first one, but it's still a great movie for what it is. It could have gone so wrong with so many characters and so many different locations, and but the big strength is that it's a simple story. It's got a very complex villain that we're invested in, and especially if you follow the Marvel Cinematic Universe, you're with these characters and they still feel very true to each other. And I love seeing the new interactions with all these different characters that we know so well. So I thought that for what it was done very, very well, very enjoyable. I'd have to see it again, I think, to really fledge out the very big specific points or find the plot holes, but overall I loved it upon first viewing, and it had a very heartbreaking ending.
Oh yeah. So what would you give it if you were to rate it with what I use?
Based on your rating system, I would say get off your ass and go see this movie. I mean, especially if you're a Marvel Cinematic Universe fan, this is a movie that is not to be missed, especially on the big screen.
Exactly. You are doing yourself a huge disservice if you don't see it and you call yourself an MCU fan.
Right? You need to go see it. And I would recommend IMAX too, if possible.
Oh yeah, I'm planning to see that because they filmed the entire movie. It's the first movie to be shot entirely in IMAX from beginning to end. But let's talk about you guys out there in Stardust.
Alright, let's get to it.
Now, as you guys know, with my past Stardust reaction videos, I use your reactions as a basis for talking points and allows me to do spoilers for the film, and we are going to do exactly that. So I picked out a couple reactions, some of which you guys tagged us in. I want to say thank you guys for those of you who actually tagged us. And for everyone else, better luck next time. Alright, so our first Stardust reaction comes from, and I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, Kristen_712. It's CR, so
Yeah, I think it's like Christian_712.
Alright.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, here's what he has to say.
Okay.
I honestly don't know what to say. I've waited so long for this film, and it definitely delivered. There's a lot of powerful moments. I shed some tears. Oh my gosh. I need to watch it again. There's a lot happening in this movie, and I expected there to be a lot, and I still need to process it. More thoughts the second time I see it. It's so good. Go watch it.
You know, it's funny, I say, let's hear what he has to say, and then the very first line he says, I honestly don't know what to say. And, I mean, I feel like this is very much a movie you need to process, given that it's a downer.
Mm-hmm. No, it is. I didn't expect it to be as much of a downer as it was. I don't know why I didn't expect it. I mean, the thing is, it's a two-parter. So, yeah. Of course, they're going to bring in the drama, and of course, they're going to want you to come back for more. I just didn't expect, again, spoilers, I didn't expect them to kill off so many people in this movie.
Yeah, which, I mean, we'll just get into that right now. Let's talk about the shocking deaths. The ones that I thought in my whole life, they're not going to do this. There's no way they're going to do this. Spider-Man, which I always thought would have been a good way for Marvel to troll Sony. Since they have that deal, just kill Spider-Man right there. Because I thought, man, that would be hilarious. But I have to watch Spider-Man die. We can't handle that.
No, I can't handle it right now.
Teenage Groot, because...
He just came back! How can you do that to him?
And probably the biggest shocker for me, even more than Spider-Man, T'Challa. Because Black Panther's technically, I think it's still in theaters.
I think in some places it's still playing, yeah.
Yeah, and it's about to come out on Blu-ray in 2 weeks, which I'm getting as soon as it comes out. And it made $1 billion worldwide, so you would think that they'd keep him around. Speaking of Black Panther.
Hi, kitty.
But no, they were not hesitant to get rid of him. And
I know.
It was shocking.
It's all to get us back to come and see it, though, I'm sure. But it was still very shocking, and this guy... He had an emotional experience. It sounds like he needs some time to process it.
You were in the same screening as me.
I know.
What do you know?
No, I'm talking about the guy that we were just...
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not you. I wasn't there with you. I'm talking about the guy we're reacting to.
Gotcha. All right, good. Yeah, because he started out by being speechless. All right, moving right along to Tim Loves Movies. Let's see if he actually loves Infinity War.
So we just got out of seeing Avengers Infinity War, and my first reaction is Thanos is a badass. The ending is a giant cliffhanger, but I feel satisfied.
I feel wrecked.
Yeah, it's an emotional journey. It's a very emotional journey, but full of surprises. It's definitely one of the better MCU movies, I'd say.
I mean, he's not wrong.
On what aspect?
I know. I was talking specifically about it being one of the better MCU films.
I would say that. I think, for me, I mentioned this in my spoiler-free review, I don't think it's as good as Black Panther, but I would say it's probably right underneath Black Panther.
Yeah.
It definitely did leave you with a cliffhanger, and it's hard to say I felt satisfied. I mean, I love the movie, we both did, but it definitely, as his girl said, left us broken.
It left me spent for sure after I saw what she was feeling was a lot what I was feeling. You know what though? It's got a cliffhanger, and I agree that it's hard to say that you felt satisfied. However, it did leave me wanting so much more, and usually that is a sign of a good movie. It leaves you wanting more. In the right circumstances, if it leaves you wanting more and you don't want it to end, that means it was a really good movie and a good experience.
Yeah.
As emotional as it was.
Yeah, I mean, it's grateful that they left on a sliver of hope, because if they just left it as it ended, I would be hesitant to come back.
Are you talking about the post-credits scene?
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Where, okay, so they're not in the posters at all, or in the marketing, but even though he has a voiceover in the first trailer, Nick Fury and Maria Hill are in the end credit scene, which is one long take. Pretty impressive.
Yeah.
And Maria Hill disintegrates, Nick Fury disintegrates, but he's holding up some sort of, like, device. I guess it's a pager, because...
That's what it looks like. That's what I thought. It looked like a pager, like an old school pager without the covering.
But anyway, like, it falls to the floor, and it says sending, ... and then we see the star and the red and blue for Captain Marvel.
Yes! I'm so excited about that.
I am too, because I said this when I reviewed Black Panther. Besides the Avengers films, it was Black Panther and Captain Marvel that were my most anticipated of Phase 3. Because we've already got a sense of Thor, we got a sense of Guardians. I wasn't too familiar with Doctor Strange to be too excited, but I knew a lot about Black Panther and Carol Danvers, whether she's Miss Marvel or Captain Marvel, to really be excited.
Yeah.
Alright, so we got 2 really positive reactions, or 3 if you want to count the last guy's girlfriend.
Yeah,
but
2.5.
2.5, fair enough. But now we got someone who doesn't see eye to eye with us.
Okay.
Or most of us. And this comes from Zach Mall, who, if you find him on Stardust, he has Star-Lord's helmet.
Oh, okay.
So the movie wasn't what I expected. It was kind of the worst, because the ending is so dark. Thanos already flicked his finger, and most of the Avengers died, so... pretty sad. Even Spider-Man died. He wouldn't have a sequel though, so I hope Avengers 4 makes up for it. And I was gonna, Captain Marvel gave us hope in our after credits scene. Well, Nick Fury's about to swear when the message showed her symbol.
We literally just talked about that end credit scene.
We did, and yeah, man, this kid had a lot of high expectations going into this movie, I feel like.
He did, but at the same time, I don't think his... I mean, everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but I don't think his criticisms are actually criticisms, because it's just like, the movie was too dark.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't really criticize the movie for that if that was its intention. I mean, it was depressing to see a lot of heroes go, especially Spider-Man, as we mentioned beforehand, but... I mean, that was the film's intent. Like, you kind of knew going in, especially with Thanos as the villain, that some of these people are not going to come out of it alive.
Yeah, and I also felt like if this is going to be a movie where we're upping the stakes, you've got to bring in the drama, and it's got to be a little bit darker. And, I mean, I can maybe see it from some people's point of view of it being too dark, just because it is really dark, but for me personally, I felt like it was just the right kind of dark, especially because we had a nice little balance with the comedy here and there, especially in the beginning.
Yeah, absolutely, and there are definitely some people who could learn. I won't name any names, but it's definitely, this movie definitely shows how to do these kind of movies correctly, especially when it comes to the big ensemble films. Again, won't name any names, but this movie absolutely... all the Avengers movies, I feel like, should be perfect templates for how to do these big ensemble pieces right, and give everyone the good amount of time they deserve.
They've been doing a really good job with, for 19 films and still going strong. They've been doing a pretty good job.
I'm still astonished that it's 19 movies.
I know.
Throughout 10 years.
And we still have more to go, too. And I know I've said this in my review, too, but this is a new video, but I'll say it. I'm still constantly impressed that Marvel keeps taking things that seem silly in retrospect, but then they just make it work in these films somehow, or at least on a level that we can go along with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know? So, I don't know, I feel bad that this kid didn't like it. I loved it, but...
Although, I will give him this. While I don't think his criticisms are really criticisms, he was losing his mind over it. He was very natural about it.
Yeah.
Because if people criticize this movie for being not what they expected, like they did The Last Jedi, then I might flip some tables.
I know, that was kind of my gripe with people's complaints on that movie too. It's like, it's supposed to be unexpected.
Yeah.
Why would you go see a movie where it's going to be exactly what you want it to be?
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, that's a just topic for another story. But also, to this kid's credit, good for him for keeping it real and, saying how he really felt. So, can't fault him for that.
All right, next up, we have someone that we're both familiar with, her more than I. The epic voice guy.
John Bailey!
We're actually, he did more than one Stardust reaction, but let's stick into the realm of cons for a second, just so we can get some different opinions. But you could definitely check out his Stardust channel, would you say?
Yeah, I'd say his page, his Stardust page.
Yeah, Stardust page.
His Stardust page. He does a lot of impressions on his page, which is what makes his page so unique, you know, besides him being the epic voice guy. But he loves doing, I forget what it's called, but there is an app where you can literally put other people's faces onto your face, and then he talks like that person. It's really funny. I'd definitely go check him out.
Yeah, something I could never do.
Review 2, The Cons, and I don't mean those guys. On a movie this scale, obviously, there's going to be some plot holes. You're going to go through the movie going, why did they do that? Over and over and over again. And they copied Avengers 2, which copied Avengers 1, which is like, we just going to do the same formula over and over again. Quips and CGI bad guy and CGI army, except more. And they did. It's the Empire Strikes Back of the MCU. It plays out like a video game fighting campaign mode, where you go from plot device to fight scene, plot device to fight scene. And the third act is going to make you angry. Thumbnail pose.
He's got some nicer things to say on his page, but that's probably the most negative stuff that he says.
I would like to ask him in person, like, how would the third act make you angry?
Yeah, maybe he meant just angry and frustration, like how we were like, no, I don't want these people to die.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know, he's probably right that there are plot holes. I just need to go back and figure them out.
In terms of like him saying it's like a video game where you just go from one scenario to the next, this is the 19th movie. Mm-hmm. We've known all these heroes for a good amount of time, so we don't really need a whole lot of character development with them because the focus is Thanos.
Yeah.
And I mean, I felt like it worked naturally, and for being a movie that's 2.5 hours, I didn't think it dragged on at all.
Yeah, I was actually like, when it did end, to be honest with you, I was like, no, that can't be the end. It didn't feel like 2.5 hours had gone by. I mean, honestly, I can understand how some people would definitely feel the time, but I don't know, I guess I was invested enough that I just didn't want it to end quite yet. You know, in some ways, Marvel films have become a little formulaic, but I think that it's a formula that we enjoy coming back to.
It's a formula that works, and it's been working for 10 years, despite some little stumbles here and there, but they've learned as they went along.
Yeah. They usually don't make the same mistake twice, most of the time.
Yeah, I think once they've figured out they made an error, they're like, okay, we don't do that anymore. Mm-hmm. All right, moving on. So the next reaction we have comes from the resident hipster of Stardust, and this is actually something that he's claimed himself. It's not me judging, it's not us judging. Spenny Hend.
So it was like 6 years ago that Avengers came out, and we saw that after credits thing with Thanos, and we all said, who the hell is that? And tonight we found out, guys. This movie's really good. I honestly really dug this movie. I like how the characters are already developed, so we're just thrown into it. And what a goddamn ending.
Yeah, that sums it up right there.
Yeah, because, I mean, we mentioned this when we talked about John Bailey's reaction. We already know all these people going in, so you can excuse some of the lack of character development for all of them. And because it just has to move so quickly, because it's such a massive film that I originally thought that 2.5 hours is too short.
Yeah. But
I guess it was the perfect length considering the buttload of characters that we have here.
Yeah. I felt like there were certain characters that maybe could have had a little more focus, like T'Challa. And a few more. But overall, no, I agree that the length was just right. The focus on each character was just about right for the most part. He mentioned Thanos and how it literally took like 7 years to find out who this guy is. I thought the build-up for him was great.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you talking about in this movie or throughout?
Just throughout Marvel in general, throughout the past 7 years. Was it worth a 7-year wait? I would say it actually was.
It is, because we got a tease of him in the first Avengers before they even got Josh Brolin.
Yeah.
We see how menacing he is to Ronan in Guardians of the Galaxy, which actually... the one thing I love about that scene in Guardians is that he is talking to Ronan and criticizing him in exactly the same way I have a problem with Ronan. Because I don't know how you feel about him, but throughout the whole movie, I always thought Ronan was like just a pouty child. And
he's not a very interesting villain.
Yeah, it's just like, thank you, Thanos, for just laying it all out. Then he grabbed the gauntlet in Age of Ultron.
And then we also got just Gamora and...
Nebula,
thank you. Nebula talking about him in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Yeah.
And just them dealing with the crap that he put them through. I mean, that alone was enough to get an idea of who this guy was.
Yeah. And then the first 5 minutes of the movie where he fights the Hulk and manages to beat him without an Infinity Stone being used and manages to basically cripple the Hulk was something where you go, everyone is so fucked.
No, we're in trouble here. Oh, and then also when he, like, snaps Loki's neck.
With just one hand.
Oh my god. Oh, yeah, with one hand, too. It was
And
just like...
it wasn't even the gauntlet hand.
No. Oh my gosh. It's, yeah, no, they did a great job of building him up and then also introducing him in this movie so that we knew what we were in for.
Yeah. All right, our last Stardust reaction comes from Sean Coates, and this reaction's sort of like middle of the road.
Okay.
Didn't hate it, but didn't love it, and he actually focuses on something that he was confused on with Thanos.
Oh, okay.
I just saw Infinity War, and I didn't love it. I thought it was good, but not great. Some great action, like you'd expect from a Marvel movie, but our heroes make some incredibly dumb decisions. The pacing is kind of bad too, and Thanos isn't that great of a villain, and his motivations are a little unclear, but the last 45 minutes of this film is amazing, and the ending, I cannot wait to see your reactions, because it will break the internet.
I mean, I'm still able to use the internet pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Are you?
Yeah. I was
so-
using it just fine.
Yeah, so I don't
before
think-
we started filming this, so it's fine.
So I don't think the internet's quite broken yet, despite whatever's going on out there.
Mm-hmm.
So the pacing, we talked about this really briefly.
Yeah.
It never felt long to me.
Well, you know, and I'm saying this in my normal non-spoiler review too, there are some moments where I feel like, well, first of all, I should at least note that I do think that there is a lot of talking in this movie, especially after, like, the first 20 minutes. I don't know, there's a lot of, like, we meet, then we talk, and then... Which I don't mind too much, but then there are some moments that do drag on a bit. And the moment in particular that really drags on for me is when Thor meets up with the Guardians of the Galaxy. And of course we all meet each other and we all get to, like, know what's going on, but they really drag it for a little bit. And even I was like, dude, just get in the pod and leave already. Let's move on.
I could kind of meet you halfway there on that. It was just more like when I watched The Dark Knight. It's never that I'm bored. It's just there's so much going on that I'm like, what's going to happen next? And I know I've used The Dark Knight as an example every time I get to a movie that's 2.5 hours, but I'm never bored.
Yeah. It's, no, it's, I thought the pacing was okay. I think, again, it's to be expected with so many characters that there's going to be a couple of clunky moments in there. But I feel like as an audience member, I was a bit more forgiving because I knew that there was so much going on and you needed to know what was going on. But, you know, as a strength, it's still a pretty simple, everyone knows why they're doing what they're doing. And Thanos, his motivations for me, like, I felt like we kind of saw what he wanted. He wanted to wipe out half the universe.
Yeah, and he even, like, lays it out.
Yeah.
And he's also talked about how that this method of his has been proven, that, like, this works, this makes life better. Like, whatever the race that Gamora's from, they never really specify.
Yeah, we actually see a visual flashback of this.
We do, and when she's having her confrontation with Thanos, verbal confrontation, he talks about how, look, you were starving when I found you, but wiping out half the population has put food in everyone's stomach. It's made life a lot better. And he even talks about how when they're on Titan, how it's a desolate wasteland. When he's talking to Strange, he shows that this is what the planet looked like. It was lush, it was green, but some of my people wanted to do something that caused all this.
Yeah.
And so my method of wiping out half the population has been proven.
Yeah.
And
which is so sad, because then you're just like, that's a moment when you hear that, when you're just like, no, I don't want to hear it, because there's got to be another way. And actually, I even was thinking throughout the movie, and maybe this is a little bit of a plot hole, I don't know, but I was even thinking, like, why don't they just bring food from other planets? They have the technology, you know? People are starving, wipe off half the population. I don't know, maybe that's why he wants to wipe off half the universe. Maybe the's not enough to go around. I don't know.
I mean, Earth obviously does not have that technology.
Yeah.
So Earth would have been completely useless. Yeah, I mean, he lays it out very clearly. I don't understand how anyone could have missed it.
Yeah, I mean, of course, there's other ways around it, but that's how it is with, like, all villains out there. There's always another, more, you know, efficient way of doing things. Just villains think that what their way is right. But then also what I do like about this movie, which is what you pointed out, is he pointed out that he tried to make this work, and then people rejected him, and now look at what happened to the planet. But when he did do it, again, look what happened to the planet. People are not starving and everything. So it has a way around it of him actually having the logic of, look, my way works.
Yes.
So, yeah.
All that being said, though, and I'm repeating myself in my spoiler-free review, he's still a genocidal maniac.
Oh, yeah. No, there's still... You know what, though, was very heartbreaking was hearing Doctor Strange, because earlier he said there was one way that we'd be able to win, and then later he said...
millions.
And then later he said there actually was no other way. He lied. He lied, and that was so like, oh God, there is no hope now.
Well... I mean, there is that hope that we talked about.
Which is crazy, because if there is hope, then how did he not see it? I don't know. It's weird. Movies are weird. But it was still very heartbreaking to hear him say that, and to find out that he lied to Tony Stark and everybody.
Yeah. And that pretty much does it for our Stardust reaction.
Yay!
Thank you to the few people out there who tagged us. I don't know what the next Stardust reaction video I'll be doing is, but I can tell you right now that she won't be around for it. I know. So once I figure out what that is and I make the call, just go ahead, tag me in your reaction. So before you do all that, just go ahead, download the app on your phone, create an account. Go ahead and follow me at RealMrRobinson, and while you're there, go ahead and follow her at AdorkableRachel.
Yep.
Or you can even use the link down here, stardust.app.link/RealMrRobinson. And in honor of my guest, I'll even put her link down below.
Thank you. It's basically the same thing. It just says AdorkableRachel instead of Real Mr. Robinson.
Right down there.
Yeah.
So... Rachel, thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for coming all the way to my house to film it, too.
No worries. I mean, my area is not quite yet ready for collaboration, so...
It's all good.
One day, though, guys, and I'm going to try to focus on getting more people on my channel, and... Yeah, with that being said, I hope you all enjoyed the review. Leave a comment down below and tell us what you thought about the spoiler stuff for Avengers Infinity War. Do you agree with any of the reactions that we picked? And Rachel, where can everyone follow you?
They can follow me basically on every social media. You can find me at AdorkableRachel, but if you want to find me on Twitter, it's just AdorkableRach, just so you know. Other than that, though, everywhere else it's AdorkableRachel.
Alright, there you go. And also, don't forget to subscribe to her YouTube channel. And until next time, this is the Real Mr. Robinson telling you there's only one. Say goodbye, Rachel.
Goodbye, Rachel! Bye.
I knew that joke was coming a mile away.
Bye, guys.